Right now on Good Morning America, first look, horror at a Mormon church in Michigan. A man crashing a truck into the church, shooting people inside before lighting the building on fire. New information on the suspect's background, including his record as U.S. military veteran. While hundreds of miles away, another U.S. military veteran is accused in a shooting rampage at a bar in North Carolina.
Bracing for Tropical Storm Imelda. The emergency is in effect on the East Coast, and just how much rain could fall. Plus the deadly flooding disaster in Arizona. Cars and propane tanks swept away.
High-stakes talks. President Trump meeting with lawmakers today. A government shutdown now just hours away. The sticking points. And Trump meets today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The president claiming a Gaza peace deal is in its final stages. What it calls for and what Netanyahu says is a red line.
A 34-year-old cold case finally cracked. How investigators say they figured out who killed 4 girls at a yogurt shop.
Dolly Parton opens up about her health struggles and why she's postponing her concerts.
Plus, what we're learning about Bad Bunny's decision to headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
Caught on camera, a carnival ride's violent malfunction leaving riders trapped.
And later, the piece of jewelry just uncovered that's 4,500 years old.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm Morgan Norwood.
And I'm Perry Russom. We begin with that attack on a church in Michigan. We are learning more about the man police say shot worshipers, then set the building on fire, killing 4 people. That number could rise. Just
so tragic. That attack coming hours after a shooting rampage at a bar in North Carolina. And it appears in both cases, the suspects are military veterans who served in Iraq.
Overnight, new details about the deadly attack at this church near Flint, Michigan.
There were some suspected explosive devices that were located.
It began just before 10:30 a.m.
We have an active shooter at the church and PD's on scene saying the building is also on fire.
The suspect crashing his truck into the front of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township.
One of our counselors was up speaking, and we heard a big bang and the doors blew.
The suspect storming into the church, opening fire with an assault rifle, hitting multiple people.
The people who were inside that church at the time, they were shielding the children.
Then setting the building on fire.
I have people trapped in the building. Repeat, people trapped in the building.
The suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
Worshipper Brian Taylor, still in his bloodstained shirt, says he and others were escaping when they encountered the shooter.
He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our windshield and just missed me.
Police say they engaged the suspect in a shootout, killing him in the parking lot. Officials still searching through the debris, concerned about multiple people unaccounted for in the church.
The FBI is now leading the investigation and is investigating this as an act of targeted violence.
Authorities say the suspect, 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, is a Marine veteran who served in Iraq. A fundraising website from 2015 indicating his son was born with a rare genetic disorder, the treatment for which apparently took a financial toll on the family. Sanford is quoted in a local newspaper saying, "Don't ever take having healthy kids for granted. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps and was in Iraq, and this is still the most unique thing to deal with." Police now searching his home in the nearby city of Burton. That shooting came just hours after another Marine veteran, also 40 years old, allegedly pulled up in a boat and opened fire at this waterfront bar in Southport, North Carolina, killing 3 people and injuring 8 others.
He was, really was shooting fish in a barrel, because if you ever look out there, it's a pier, where the end is, and his boat was right out there, and there's nowhere for anybody to go.
Nigel Edge was captured a short time later. Police say he told them he suffers from PTSD.
And a local newspaper reports Edge, who previously changed his name, was wounded in Iraq in 2006. As for the Michigan church attack, no word yet on a motive or any link between the suspect and the church.
States of emergency are in effect for the Carolinas, and preparations are in full swing ahead of possible flooding from Tropical Storm Imelda. Parts of the South Carolina coast could see 6 inches of rain. Imelda is expected to become a hurricane late tonight or tomorrow, but there is some good news. It is expected to turn into the Atlantic, spurring the East Coast any strong winds. Meanwhile, across the country in Arizona, the cleanup is just getting started after deadly flooding in the city of Globe, that is east of Phoenix. The storm killing at least 3 people there, with 1 person still missing overnight. The raging flood waters also sweeping away more than 1,000 propane tanks from a distribution facility.
The other big story this morning, time is running out to avoid a government shutdown. The deadline is tomorrow night, and President Trump is expected to meet today with congressional leaders. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, both sides still very far apart on this, but all eyes on that meeting today.
Well, that's right, Morgan. Good morning to you. The president will be meeting today with the leaders of both parties, with no apparent progress made on a spending plan to keep the government open after tomorrow night.
If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down.
With just hours to go until a potential government shutdown, the president is set to meet with the top 4 congressional leaders to discuss a potential deal.
Our position has been very clear. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care.
Democrats are demanding a new funding bill that reverses Medicaid cuts and extends expiring Obamacare subsidies to prevent health insurance premiums from rising for millions of Americans. Republicans are pushing for a more simple short-term funding fix to keep the government running until November 20th.
What the Democrats have done here is take the federal government as a hostage.
A shutdown would mean millions of federal employees, including members of the military, TSA officers, and ICE agents, would work without pay until the government reopens. And the White House raising the stakes even further, directing agencies to consider mass firings of federal workers from programs that are, quote, not consistent with the president's priorities.
They're trying to intimidate the American people and us.
Meanwhile, another negotiation is on President Trump's agenda today as he meets with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump says talks over his plan to end the war in Gaza are now in the final stages, and he says Netanyahu is on board with his plan. The main principles of the deal include the release of all hostages, Israel's withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, the disarming of Hamas, no annexation of any part of Gaza by Israel, and a future credible path for Palestinian statehood after the Palestinian Authority undergoes significant reforms. The deal also calls for the involvement of the Palestinian Authority in the new Gaza government, but Netanyahu has said that is a red line.
I hear from the Western leaders. They tell me, the PA promised us it will reform. Yeah, right. Giving the Palestinians a state 1 mile from Jerusalem after October 7th is like giving Al-Qaeda a state 1 mile from New York City after September 11th.
And as of yesterday, Hamas said it had not received any new peace proposals. Netanyahu says negotiations are ongoing. Perry.
Nicole, thank you. Now to the federal immigration crackdown. Agents in masks swarming downtown Chicago. At least 11 people arrested, and protesters rally outside an ICE detention center there. Homeland Security is now investigating what appears to be explosives found near one ICE facility in the area. Officials in Oregon are suing the Trump administration over plans to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, saying President Trump lacks the authority. Trump has called the city war-ravaged, but the governor says they do not want or need those federal troops.
We turn now to the shakeup in the race for New York mayor. Mayor incumbent Eric Adams dropping out of the race. Adams was trailing in the polls, running as an independent after facing corruption charges that were later dropped by the Justice Department. President Trump has publicly pushed to narrow the field, claiming it's the only way to beat frontrunner Zohran Mamdani, a self-described democratic socialist. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo remains in the race.
I think what Mayor Adams said today speaks volumes. He said, I'm going to put my personal ambition aside for the good of the city, because he's afraid of the result if Mr. Mamdani were to win the election. And we should all be afraid of the result.
And sources say the White House offered Adams an ambassadorship at one point just to simply get him out of the way. Adams will still be on the ballot.
Overseas, the world's tallest bridge has opened to traffic. The new bridge in southwest China is 1.8 miles long and rises 2,000 feet over a river. It also has the world's largest span in a mountain region, stretching more than 4,600 feet.
Time now for your Monday weather.
Good morning. We continue to watch 2 tropical systems. We have Hurricane Humberto staying out to sea, but sending some big waves toward the east coast. Much closer to home, of course, is Tropical Storm Imelda moving out of the Bahamas. The trend has been to move this farther out to sea, taking a right-hand turn before it make any type of landfall along the southeast coast. All the while, though, a front situated near Charleston and Myrtle Beach will enhance some rainfall along the outer bands of the storm, so there could still be 2 to 4 inches of rain, perhaps even some localized flooding in parts of the Carolinas right through the day on Wednesday. Meteorologist Jeff Smith, ABC News.
Coming up, new information about the alleged plot to cripple cell phone service in New York and what authorities just found.
Also ahead, a 34-year-old cold case finally cracked. How investigators say they figured it out, who killed 4 girls at a yogurt shop.
And how thieves got away with $1 million in rare whiskey.
Back now, and you've got to see this video. The scary moment this carnival ride malfunctioned, a car apparently crashing into another at a school event in the Pico Union area of Los Angeles. Some riders were reportedly trapped for up to 1 hour. Thankfully, no injuries were reported there.
A shocking discovery in Charlotte, North Carolina, the body of a stowaway found in the landing gear of an American Airlines plane. The flight came from Europe, but officials not exactly saying where in Europe. The person has not been publicly named. An investigation is underway, and aviation experts say stowing away in a wheel well almost always ends in death.
There are new details this morning about the alleged plot that could have crippled every cell tower in New York City. Sources say federal agents found 200,000 more SIM cards at a location in New Jersey. And that's in addition to the 100,000 SIM cards seized from around the city, along with hundreds of servers that could have overwhelmed the network. The elaborate operation could have also jammed 911 calls and emergency communications. Sources say investigators are trying to determine the ultimate goal of the plot, which has been linked to China.
Now to Texas and the cold case killings of 4 teenage girls. After 3 long decades, investigators say they have finally cracked the case. After nearly 34 years, investigators say they've identified the man responsible for the brutal killings of 4 teenage girls at a Texas yogurt shop. Officials say it was serial killer Robert Eugene Brashers, who shot Sarah and Jennifer Harbison, Eliza Thomas, and Amy Ayers in 1991, before setting the Austin yogurt shop on fire, compromising the evidence, and leading to a decades-long mystery.
There was smoke and soot on every surface, so kind of made fingerprinting kind of difficult.
In 1999, 2 men were arrested for their murders. Both confessed, but later claimed their confessions were made under duress, and their convictions were overturned. The case ultimately went cold.
It was unspeakable. You know, you just have all those regrets of not protecting.
An HBO documentary released last month focused new attention on the murders.
We had so many suspects,
but it was never solved.
Now police say using DNA technology, they've been able to link Brashers to the crime scene. Brashers, who's been connected to other murders, died by suicide in 1999. The former lead investigator telling CBS, police believe the gun Brasher used in his suicide is consistent with the bullet casing found in a drain inside the yogurt shop. Brasher's daughter telling our station KVUE she hopes this gives the victims' families some closure.
I'm very sorry for the pain and everything that my father has put everyone through. And I wish my father was here today to be able to be punished for his crimes.
Police are holding a news conference today to explain their findings.
The police near Seattle are investigating a rare liquor heist. It happened at the Westland Distillery. 12,000 bottles of craft whiskey worth about $1 million were stolen. The distillery says someone loaded up the whiskey and was supposed to deliver it to New Jersey, but it never got there. It's so rare it could prove difficult for the thieves to unload. Coming up, misbehaving golf fans at Ryder Cup lead to a resignation.
Also ahead, health concerns for Dolly Parton. What she's saying about postponing her concerts. A quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers was reportedly attacked and robbed in Dublin, Ireland. The team confirming Skylar Thompson was involved in an incident Friday ahead of yesterday's game in Dublin against the Minnesota Vikings. Thompson was treated in the hospital for a minor injury. He was already nursing an injury and did not play in the game. Some ugly incidents at the Ryder Cup on New York's Long Island this weekend. First, the comedian hired by organizers to fire up the crowd resigned after leading a chant aimed at Rory McIlroy that included profanity. People in the crowd were also squeaking plastic ducks, upsetting McIlroy. Someone also appeared to throw a beer at his wife. McIlroy called some of the fans' behavior unacceptable and abusive. Team Europe ended up beating the U.S.
We turn now to Dolly Parton, the iconic singer, now sharing news about her health struggles.
This morning, Dolly Parton is explaining her decision to delay her upcoming Las Vegas residency by more than 9 months, citing health challenges. In a post written with her trademark sense of humor, she says, My doctors tell me that I must have a few procedures. As I joke with them, it must be time for my 100,000-mile checkup, although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon. In all seriousness, given this, I am not going to be able to rehearse and put together the show that I want you to see, and the show that you deserve to see. Fans and celebrities quick to send their support. Singer Brandi Carlile writing Beyond Reproach, and director Ava DuVernay writing Heal Strong, Queen Dolly. One fan joking, currently Googling how to donate my organs to Dolly Parton. And another writing, you've given so much to the world all these years. We can wait a bit.
Life is a show and the show will go on.
The 79-year-old assuring the public that she has no plans to retire, saying, "Don't worry about me quitting the business because God hasn't said anything about stopping yet, but I believe he is telling me to slow down right now." Just this year, Dolly suffered the loss of her husband of nearly 60 years. She recently explained why she keeps pushing forward.
I would rather wear out than rust out, because I think a lot of people, when they do retire, they start to rust.
And her delayed shows are now scheduled for next September. Certainly wishing her well.
Coming up, what we're learning about Bad Bunny's decision to headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
Very exciting. Plus, the piece of jewelry just uncovered that's 4,500 years old.
All right, time to check the pulse. We begin with the announcement. Bad Bunny will headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
A lot of people talking about this. The rapper has had a big couple of months. He co-starred with Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore 2 and recently finished a sold-out run of his 31 shows in his native Puerto Rico. He's been the most streamed artist on Spotify 3 of the last 5 years.
He left the U.S. out of his upcoming world tour, citing the political climate, voicing concern about immigration agents being outside his shows. But before last night's announcement, he posted a message saying, "After discussing it with my team, I think I'll do just one date in the United States."
Mic drop.
On Sunday Night Football, a back-and-forth battle between the Packers and Cowboys went as far as it could go, and still, there was no winner. The teams traded the lead 6 times in the second half and went to overtime, tied at 37. Both of them kicked field goals. The Packers getting theirs as time expired, the game ending in a 40-40 tie.
Wow.
Next, a big night at the Big House for country superstar Zach Bryan.
Bryan's show at Michigan Stadium drew the largest audience for a ticketed concert in U.S. history. More than 112,000 fans packing into the venue Saturday night. Bryan also set a record for merchandise sales as well. Congratulations to him.
A very different kind of record overseas. An Egyptian wrestler breaking a world record by pulling a 700-ton ship across the water with a rope by using his teeth. He then turned around and pulled 2 ships weighing 1,100 tons. Earlier this year, he pulled a train because why not? Why not?
I mean, this is why doctors say, brush and floss. You can pull things with your teeth, right? Well, next, some ancient bling unearthed in Turkey.
An archaeologist dug up a gold brooch dating back thousands of years. It was found in what was once the city of Troy, along with a rare imported jade ornament. Both pieces are believed to be 4,500 years old.
Well, they now provide clear evidence dating Troy to 2500 BC. They will go on display in a local museum. Well, finally, today is National Coffee Day. It's a holiday for us,
Every
right?
day is coffee day for me, Morgan. Prices are up 20% compared to last year, so take advantage of the deals today. Chains like Dunkin', Starbucks, and Circle K are offering deals through their apps. And at Krispy Kreme, you can get a free donut and coffee thanks to the company's spokesperson, Joe Jonas.
Yes. Coffee drinkers in the U.S. now drink on average 2.8 cups of Joe per day, and 66% of Americans say they're coffee drinkers. That is up 7% in recent years.
How much coffee you drink a day?
About 2 cups, so I'm kind of up there.
I go at least 4. I want a double shot of espresso, cortado. I've been all over that. Cortados, espressos, bring them on.
All right. Well, we'll check the top headlines next.
Checking more top stories, police in Michigan say the man who crashed his truck into this Mormon church, shooting worshipers before setting the building on fire, was an Iraq war veteran. Information online suggests he struggled to pay his son's medical bills. No word on a motive. At least 4 people killed.
President Trump meets today with congressional leaders as a government shutdown looms tomorrow night. Trump also meets today with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss a Gaza peace plan. And tomorrow, Trump attends a meeting with hundreds of U.S. military leaders.
58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage on a stick products are being recalled because pieces of wood were found in the batter. They include State Fair corn dogs and Jimmy Dean pancakes and sausage on a stick made since March.
Take you outside. Today's weather, up to 6 inches of rain in the Carolinas with rough surf from Tropical Storm Imelda. Showers for the Northwest, warm in the Midwest and Northeast.
And finally, the story behind Tom Hanks and his typewriter.
Here's Danny New.
Actor Tom Hanks has long shared his enthusiasm for typewriters, and one person who knows this firsthand is an Oregonian typewriter shop owner named Tony Volpe.
So this is it, huh?
Yeah, this is the one.
You may recognize Tony from a bit of press recently after he finally received this autographed typewriter from the two-time Oscar winner more than 2 years after it was promised.
Have you tried using the typewriter to write Wilson?
No, not yet.
This all began in May of 2023. One Friday afternoon, Tony gets a call from Hanks' team that he would like to visit his shop in Portland called the Type Space. The next day, an SUV pulls up, and suddenly the Forrest Gump actor is standing in his store ready to talk typewriters.
He started geeking out.
In fact, Tony says he really won Hanks over when he had a special model Hanks had been searching for.
He doesn't fight evil or shoot lasers or fly.
And instantly, Tony felt like he was talking to his character from Toy Story.
That's when he became Tom Hanks. More like Woody. You have one? The hands went up.
But yes, while the Castaway star was there, he promised to send an autographed typewriter from his collection. And more than 2 years later, Tony decided to just casually bring up to his team that it had never arrived.
She said, "Oh my God, we never sent that typewriter, did we?"
Tony says within a few days, this 1955 German typewriter arrived from California. And from what I can tell, he does not seem too mad about the delay.
I've had a few clients in today write their friends' letters. "Hey, I'm typing this letter on Tom Hanks' typewriter."
By the way, guys, Tony gave Tom a little gift, too. It's a special gold watch. And if you look at the photos from the Cannes Film Festival that year, Tony says that's his gold watch on Tom's left wrist at Cannes.
We love Tom Hanks and Danny New, don't we?
Don't we?
That's your first look.
Have a great day.